It is Wednesday, July 2nd, right around 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And just a little while ago, my spirit team they brought me up by my short hairs and they're like, we need you to do your video now. And I've kind of had this on tap for a little while. I just didn't know when they wanted me to land it, because once I landed that energy forecast for you, spirit team has been systematically giving me messages, but not letting me release them. And now there's a whole set to go ahead and give to you guys. Now, what you need to know is in the middle of all of this, I am back in the deep end of the pool, pendulum checking the United States Congress. Yes, I am back doing that right now. And I find it very interesting that Spirit Team's got me pendulum checking the United States Congress as we go into the vote for the U.S. House of Representatives for the great big old beautiful bill that I call the beautiful bahunkus bill. Before I kick off this video, I want to make a short announcement and give you a heads up. Remember, I'm doing that live group coach on Zoom Saturday, July 6th at 10 a.m. So if you're interested in that, go through in my link tree, go to my website, www.somaticmoney.com, click over to events, and you'll find the group right there to be able to go ahead and sign up for it. So yes, I have a series of information that I want to go ahead and release to you now. Just keep in mind, I am the messenger and I am relaying the information that Spirit Team has been giving me for just about 2.5 days. And let's go ahead and take it from the top. So on the 30th of June, Monday the 30th of June, I heard a message, and basically the message was they, quote they, which is the powers that be in the illegal regime right now, they are going to try to dismantle the American government in one last ditch effort. And then Spirit Team said, it doesn't work. They, the people trying to do this, crack apart. In the effort to do this, they actually crack themselves apart. So as they try to create this dismantling, which I believe is this bill, in that process, the bill ends up in some way, shape, or form cracking apart, and it causes them to crack apart. Now, to me, that's a pretty big message. And when they first gave that message to me on Monday, I wasn't quite sure what they were talking about. And then as we have been moving through the week, I've been kind of putting two and two together and going, oh, these are the pointers that Spirit Team is giving to me. And if you remember both the energy forecast and the previous psychic notes, there's been this messaging coming through from Spirit World of it's time for the big cracking apart to happen. And I believe this note was the first note along this pathway. So that was Monday. And that is exactly when I took a nosedive, a deep dive into pendulum checking all 435 members of our U.S. House of Representatives. Yeah, it's been quite an eye-opener. I can't wait to tell all of you what I am finding out there. And I hope to have this released by Friday. That's my goal. So keep your eye out for it. I do not have it up yet. I don't have anything up yet, but that's my goal, is to have it released on Friday. Then on Tuesday, July 1st, and I do kind of have to give a nod to the energies. The Monday, Tuesday energies of this week have continued to be very intense, a little bit glitchy, and it's not timeline stuff, and I don't think it's Schumann stuff, and it's not necessarily astrological stuff. There are energetic anomalies going on that I can't put my finger on. So if you are feeling energetically wonky, that is also in the air right now. So Tuesday, July 1st, this was the next message that Spirit Team gave to me. They said, the time of elitism in America is over. And I got to tell you, on Tuesday, it was just really in my face, even though I didn't want to be thinking about it. The whole Jeff Bezos wedding and all of that, and all of the grossness, you know, the elitism and the millions of dollars spent in our face, and then the celebrity list. Like, the feeling that I had was like, the only reason to look at that event is to go through the celebrities who were there and make sure you cancel them, because these are not the people that we want to be interacting with. And there was a feeling in the air of, even though Bezos is just trying to rub this in my face, and wait till I show you the other things I have found out about him with this congressional pendulum checking. But the way Bezos has been rubbing this all in our face, the feeling I had was like, your time is over, dude. Like the peak of it has happened. And Spirit Team, 1st of July, Tuesday this week, they're saying the time of elitism in America is over. And here's the other thing. When this message was coming in about the time of American elitism being over, that message was coming in on the 1st, right around the time that the Senate was passing the big, beautiful bill to be able to hand it back over to the United States Congress, right? And right around that time, Spirit Team had me crack open my computer, go into CNN, and look at the pictures, look at what was going on the floor of the United States Senate. They rarely have me do that. That's an anomaly. So the fact that they had me do that, they wanted me to go in and energetically read the floor of the United States Senate during the voting on the big, beautiful bill. And when I went in and I saw that video of all those people, all the senators moving around, the impact that came back and hit me was charades, charades, charades. And I'm like, that is just such a weird energetic imprint to get off of that. And so I'm sitting there pendulum checking the U.S. House of Representatives, and I've got all my grids out there, and I'm like, well, let's pendulum check this a little bit. Let's pendulum check this. And what I found in my pendulum check is that vote, the Senate vote on that bill, had been decided 2 weeks ago. And Spirit Team was basically saying it had already been decided, and so they were all going through the motions. It was all charades. It was all set up, and I know there were lots of ins and outs to the bill and things dropping in and out and that whole thing, but Spirit Team was like, no, they set that vote up 2 weeks ago, and they just played it all out on the camera screen for the American public. And the other thing I got to point out is how many times has it come down to Murkowski and Collins? How many times have those two ladies been on the screen flip-flopping back and forth? And this time it came down to Murkowski's vote, and then they brought in J.D. Vance for the tiebreaker. But the feeling I got from Spirit World on that whole thing about that Senate vote on the big, beautiful bill was basically, Dana, it's an act. It's charades. This has already been figured out quite some time ago, 2 weeks ago, and they're just playing it out on the camera to make it believable for all of you guys. Well, then I got up this morning, July 2nd, came into my office, sat down, started pendulum checking, started moving through the rest of Congress, started pendulum checking. Another message came in from Spirit Team. You know what the Galactic Federation of Light said this time? This is what they said. They said, the house cleaning is beginning now. And I shook. I shook this morning, guys, because I don't know if you remember, and I started remembering this yesterday. I started remembering this on Tuesday. Remember way back in late fall during the certification of the presidential election in the House of Representatives? Remember that, and remember how Spirit Team had me track that? And remember the information and energy that came through on that. Remember the messaging from that. When that illegal election was certified from Spirit Team was basically, great. It's all set up now for it to happen. Do you remember that? Do you remember there was this huge kerfluffle of energy and information around at that time? We all thought this was Kamala's chance then to begin legal actions, which never happened. What stuck in my head was the funny look on Kamala's face and the funny look on Mike Johnson's face as far as the proceedings moving through extremely rapidly and the Republicans kind of looking like, oh my God, you're going to let us do this. And the look on the Democrats' face about that whole, peaceful transfer of power thing that was going on. It was the weirdest certification ever. But Spirit Team, at that time, if you recall, around those events, there was an energy and there was an excitement of good, now it can happen. And all of that has been washing back through me in memory all day yesterday, Tuesday, the July 1st, all day yesterday. I've been having memories about that, and how Spirit was like, hey, it's all set up now for it to go ahead and happen. And do you remember me doing a whole video on the house cleaning and the house cleaning of the House of Representatives, right? So we have those couple of messages going on from way back last fall, late November, early December, right? And now we're at July 1st, and now we're at this big budget bill that is now landing on the House of Representatives floor, right? And Spirit Team is saying, the house cleaning is beginning now. I'm like, guys, something is going on. So then when this message came in, and I date stamped it, it's like 9:37 a.m. When this message came in, I immediately turned on my computer and I went over to look at CNN. I picked up some Parnas headlines to begin to see what was going on. I already knew the Musk-Trump thing was waffling back and forth, so I knew there were tensions there. When I got over to Aaron Parnas's page, there were headlines from him going, hey, it's looking, at first he reported that the Republicans had their vote, but not everybody could get in because of weather. Like Mother Nature was blocking people to get in because of weather. But then I go look at the Weather Channel. Doesn't look like there's any weather. So that was weird. And then I can feel his Spirit Team going, it's cracking apart, not going to work. Then I looked at another headline that Aaron Parnas had a little bit later, and it was basically him confirming, yeah, they can't get in to vote. And now it looks like the Republicans are down 10 votes. So that's not moving in the direction that they want to go. And then, of course, I'm pendulum checking. So I start pendulum checking the percentages on this. And as we move through the next few days, over the holiday weekend, over onto Monday, this thing, my pendulum is checking, it never gets past the 30% mark. Now, I could be wrong on that. Those percentages could change. But I got to tell you, folks, this is not lining up how they want it to line up. And so after all of that happened, here's the last message Spirit Team gave to me. And they basically said, Dana, the tides are turning. They have the votes, but they can't push it through. Something else is happening. So there is something going on in the background that we don't know about yet, or it hasn't come to fruition, or it hasn't come to light. And the feeling that I have right now, and we'll see how this plays out. We don't know how it's going to play out, but the feeling that I have right now is it's not in alignment. There's a lot of cracks and fissures. It's not lining up the way they need it to and want it to. And the fact that DT said about 24 hours ago, he basically said, we'll let this ride until it goes through. And I just got this feeling of like, oh, the more this rides, the more this falls apart. And in the meantime, I am sitting here going through with a fine-tooth energy comb, looking at every single representative, getting this report ready to release to you guys. And I got to say, here's my teaser for what I'm going to release. If we thought the Senate was bad, it ain't got nothing on the House of Representatives. What I'm seeing on the House of Representatives is there is a major need for cleaning. And so I can't wait to get this report done, this pendulum check report done. I can't wait to get it out to you guys. I'm hoping to have it out on Friday, which is the 4th of July, and us beginning to create a whole new revolution and a whole new constitution and a whole new way of doing things. And it's the same time of the big Uranus into Gemini movement, and things kind of cracking apart a little bit. And I can feel Spirit Team coming in. And they're saying something along the lines of, this is kind of like the last message, they're saying something along the lines of, more will be revealed on Monday, July 7th. And if you recall, that was some of the messaging given previously, was the cracking apart begins to happen behind the scenes, and we really don't see the fruition of it until July 7th. So keep your ears to the ground. I know it's easy to lose faith and lose hope right now. God knows right now I'm just trying to keep my head above water, going we can do this, we can come through, it's all going to work out. It's not very easy for all of us to do this in the face of a pretty big shadow right now, but Spirit Team is keep the hope, keep the faith, keep walking through, keep doing your attunements, because there's a lot going on energetically on the planet with Earth right now. Keep your ears to the ground, situational awareness for the 4th. And that's what I've got for you for now. Make sure you keep walking forward to meet those miracles along the way. And I will see you in my next video.